Hey guys, Foxdrop here with another League installment of the Acer Predator Training Room. In this video, we've been taking a deeper look at your mistakes, the types you're making, how to identify them, and of course, how to fix them. When it comes to improving a league or anything competitive, you don't always have to add more guns to your arsenal. Sometimes taking the ones that don't work out is the best way to go. Fixing your mistakes is often enough to take your game to the next level, and by immersing yourself in that next level, you will passively learn and improve even more, and by repeating this process, you'll achieve what I believe to be the optimal way to improve. So if the core element of improving is fixing your mistakes, it's therefore paramount to be able to identify them. If you don't realize you're making mistakes, how can you work on them? Identifying mistakes can range from being extremely simple to being actually kinda challenging, but by the end of this video, we'll have both parts sorted no problem. The simple mistakes to identify are what I call active mistakes. These mistakes have very clear outcomes. You died, you lost a kill, so on, and they also have a very clear cause. You went too aggressive at the wrong time, you missed a skill shot. Fixing these mistakes is also pretty simple. Oftentimes they are mechanical mistakes, things such as whiffing skill shots or missing CS, and those things can be improved by some good old-fashioned extra practice. Just play the game a bit more. Doesn't even have to be ranked games, it can be normals with friends, ARAMs, some of the fun game modes. The context of the game isn't important, it's simply refining your mechanics and shaking off some of the rust. This can also work for dying less to roams or ganks. Play these practice or warm-up games to get into the habit of using your minimap a bit more. Every 5 seconds or so, glance at the map. You can use metronome tools on your browser to help you practice this too. Might be a tad irritating, but it's a good way to learn a good habit. Let's move on now from these simple mistakes and crack open some of the tougher eggs. The more complicated mistakes to identify are what I refer to as hidden mistakes. As the name suggests, they're hard to see, but my goodness, are they still there? These are the sort of mistakes that you will describe with the shoulds or coulds. Maybe I should have gone here. Maybe I could have done this or that. You get what I mean. They're more theoretical misplays with a focus on your decision making. Mistakes that hide behind an action or decision that by itself isn't actually a mistake. It's a bit trickier to fix these kind of mistakes, but nothing you should feel intimidated about. For these, you're going to want to study your replays a bit. At first, I'd recommend just grabbing a cup of tea and simply watching the game back. The cup of tea is actually non-optional for this tip, but then again, I am English, so I might be a bit biased. Watching the game back from a spectator standpoint will allow you to view the game from a different, more objective perspective, which in itself will help identify otherwise hard to see mistakes. It might be beneficial for you to whip out a notepad when you're watching these games back and take note of some of the mistakes that are happening. Once you've done that for a few games, you might recognize that you're making similar mistakes game to game. And those are exactly the kind of things that you can work on the next time you hop into game. What I found is a great way to do things too, however, is to watch the replay back but from the enemy team's perspective. Might sound a little bit wacky, but through this view you can easier see their vulnerabilities, and as such, you can see the areas in which you could have punished them. You'd be surprised at the kind of stuff you can pick up if you watch the game back from a different perspective. But if you're not a huge fan of watching back replays, or you're looking for extra credit on your league homework, you can always check out some streamers or YouTubers that are better players than yourself and draw parallels between their playstyles and yours. See how they view and play the game and constantly ask yourself why they're doing the things that they're doing. If you can find someone who is good at explaining this themselves, then hey, that's great. But not really necessary if you're good at applied observational learning. And that does it for today's training session. Hopefully you learned more about your mistakes, how to work with them to improve as a player. Thanks for watching, I'm Foxdrop, and I'll see you later.